I am honored today to have as our guests Susan Weithaler and Dominique Alfondre. Welcome.
Thank you. It's really nice to be here.
You're very welcome. So why don't we start, Dominique, tell me a little bit about the Alliance.
Well, it's called the Arts and Cultural Alliance of Newport County, and it exists to promote and help the arts community in Newport County. So that's all of Aquidneck Island, Jamestown, Little Compton, and Tiverton. So what we do is with an all-volunteer board. We don't have any staff. Wow. But we present programs, we give awards, we give support, and we try to keep the artists and the cultural institutions of Newport County talking to each other. I think that's sort of...
Yes.
Anything?
That is wonderful. That is a wonderful, wonderful cause to be a part of in Newport County and all of those communities that are involved. And so how long has the Alliance been around and been doing this great work?
Since 1993. And in fact, we just rewrote our
bylaws.
The bylaws
right.
After all that time, and you can imagine.
Yes.
So, but the Alliance is very important. It's a chance for, especially one of our events is called Arts Around the Fire.
Oh, tell me about that.
We have an event one evening a month starting in October, November, January, February, March, and April. And we get together, we have a guest speaker of someone that might be new in town. And we just have it, it's free and open to anybody that wants to come. And it's a time to interact and to talk to each other and to share the different programs and events that people are doing.
Oh, that sounds like a wonderful activity.
It's great.
And it starts in October and runs through?
The last one's April.
In April,
May,
because May, June, July, and August, people are
busy.
That's right.
But we've been meeting at the restaurant called Sardella's on Memorial Boulevard, and they bring in pizza for us and everything. So it's really fun. And they actually have a little stove.
Oh, that's
so we can really be arts around the fire.
And I was thinking of fire. It sounds so cozy. It sounds like such a great experience.
It's very. I can remember back in the old days that we met at the Clark Cookhouse, and they did have a big potbelly stove.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
So it's nice to keep that tradition. But I know a lot of people wonder, what do they mean by arts around the fire?
I love that. Now we definitely know, and now I'll have to put that in my calendar. It sounds like fun. So, I'm a theater mom, so I really would love that experience for sure.
Yeah, you know, so many people are involved in the arts one way or the other. People are creative. That's what human beings do, create things.
That's right.
It's a real, we try to think of, and because it's a volunteer organization, it's a volunteer board, we have about 12 or 13 people 14 people on the board. Everybody brings something to the board and brings an idea or a program that they want to see happen. So that's how everything has grown up. And some things fall away and other things come up, and we just keep on trying to think of the thing that the arts community really needs.
That's wonderful. And what a wonderful softball pitch for my next question. As I was sitting here thinking to myself, what is going on right now with the Alliance? What things would the community that's watching this program love to learn about that they can participate in?
Well, the big event, our biggest event, is called Raise Up the Arts, and it's a fundraiser, a pretty low-key fundraiser as Newport fundraisers go, where we gather. We're at Johnny's up on the hill in Middletown.
Oh, sure.
Is that the official name? It's Wyndham or something?
It's the Wyndham Hotel, but Johnny's restaurant is the original
restaurant
that was down on the beach.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. And the really exciting thing that happens at that gathering is there's 4 awards that we announce, that we give throughout the year. We have a scholarship called the Tinney Family Scholarship, which is for a high school senior going on into the arts, either at college or university or just in their life. We have
every year we give. And where is that senior in Newport?
Newport County.
Newport County, the whole county. So
has
one
to live
senior.
in Newport County but can go to school anywhere or be homeschooled, because
Very good.
we did have a winner a couple of years ago that was homeschooled.
Oh, nice.
So and that's really nice. And we just finished going through the selection process, which was amazing.
So exciting.
So we have our winner.
Oh, that's
of the,
great. That will
Tinney
be
Family
probably
Arts.
revealed next weekend or the weekend
will-
after during
it
graduation.
will be soon.
June 26th.
June
Soon,
26th.
but they will know. The winner will know before that.
Yes, that's fun. I like that.
And then we give a what we call an artist award every year, which is $1,000 for an artist who's making something or performing something. It has to have some sort of public element to it, but that doesn't have to be the whole project. So if you're working in your studio and you have a studio tour, that can be the... So that is announced, and then we also have the Leroy White Soul and Conscience Award, which honors Leroy White, who was a musician who just was the most amazing force in the community. Did you ever hear of Leroy?
I personally have not heard of Leroy. Now I will look him up and learn more.
He
So
was amazing.
Your description of
He
Leroy.
led every parade. He,
Yes.
gathered every group. He was a wonderful, wonderful person.
Think
and
about
his family.
like being the Pied Piper.
He was the Pied Piper.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
His family has established this $5,000 award that will go to a musician who embodies that spirit of Leroy's, of embracing the community and peace and unity, and there was a lot that he stood for. And then there's the last one. You can talk about this one. Embarrassingly,
the Dominique
it's called
Award?
the Dominique Award.
Oh, I like now I get it. Okay. I like you. The humble approach was really nice, Dominique.
Well.
That was great. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, that was created a long time ago now, like I think there's been 15, 14 years. Some people from the community came to the Alliance and said, we think there should be an award for somebody who works in the arts community above and beyond what their job might be, who really makes things happen for the community. And so we've had people who had been incredibly generous with their spaces, about letting people do things in their spaces. We've had people who've been really wonderful board members of various different arts organizations. We've had Alan Bernstein, who was the head of music in the Middletown schools for years. Newport schools.
Nice.
You were head of music in the Middletown schools for years.
No, in Portsmouth.
No.
Sorry.
Rod
O'Hanley was
he
in
was Middletown.
Yes.
Right.
But anyway, people who just are out there in the community trying to figure out ways to do what the Alliance does, support and sustain more arts. So this year, Roz Weir, who with her husband Jim developed Four Corners in Tiverton.
Oh.
So, 25 years ago or something, Four Corners was Gray's Ice Cream and the Provender. And now it's all of those galleries and shops and studios.
Very
and
special place.
It's a very special
really
place.
Yes, she really did an amazing thing with her husband. Her husband has passed away, but we're giving the award to Roz this year.
That's very nice.
So-
And all of that is going to happen at this event.
It's going to be all announced at this event.
Your premier fundraiser. And what is the date of this event again?
It's Wednesday, June 24th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Wyndham Hotel
Oh, that is wonderful. And how do
on
people...
Aquidneck Avenue.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And how do people get involved in terms of purchasing a ticket, or is it already sold out? How does that work?
We don't sell out.
We're
Maybe this is the
We're
year.
open to everybody. They can
love
go to our website, www.newportarts.org, and it will be there. The information should be there. If it's not already, it will be there soon.
That's wonderful.
But come out and help us celebrate our our artists, our local artists of all genres.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of them on the island.
Yeah, oh,
and in
yes.
Newport County. We have such a robust, with things that go on here nationally and internationally known.
Yes,
we have a
right.
wonderful market here to be able to collect all of our artists. Last question that I have would be, if you had a wish list going into after the fundraiser, which everybody knows about now, I'll make sure you know how to get to that website. After that, what's a wish list? And we have a couple minutes left, about 3 minutes left. Tell me a wish list going into the next year.
I haven't even thought about that. We've been so busy, you know.
We have been busy.
Very
But you know
busy.
what I would wish for? I would wish for some new board members. Susan and I have been on the board for a long, long time, and we love it.
Dominique is a charter member.
Very good.
I haven't been on that long.
And how many
Not as
years
long
does
as
that
me,
mean?
no.
What's a charter member? How many?
Since 93.
There we go. Since the very beginning. There it is.
Yes, from the very beginning.
That's
Very
great.
beginning.
That's great. So you're looking
Yeah,
for more
I'm the
board
only one
members
left,
to
yeah.
participate and maybe to recruit.
Yeah, because I think that the board runs the organization. So the more new ideas we have, the better. And I think that would be my.
I
that
like
would
it
be
too
my
because it
list.
shakes things up a bit.
Shakes things up.
But one thing really wonderful about our board is everybody does something, does a job. And as Dominique said, we're all volunteers. So if each person takes one job and we put it all together for the whole, then we have a really good organization.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot going on.
We have a lot going on. Yeah.
So, and we love getting people involved.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So if you heard that out there, more board members and being able to recruit more board members. And then one more time with your website so that people can get those tickets. It is called the
www.newportarts.org.
Newport Arts. And look for the event called
Raise
Up the Arts.
Raise Up the Arts. Well, let's raise up the arts,
Raise up
ladies.
the
Let's do
arts.
it. Let's recruit some more of those artists in the
Yes,
area.
I hope everyone comes out because it's really a wonderful time celebrating our friends and artists and kids. Because we have our high school senior is going to be attending
That's right.
to receive the certificate and a check for $2,000 from the Tinney Family Arts Scholarship Award.
So that will be exciting
it's very
for that to
exciting.
be announced, and we're in the season.
We
So
are in
we're
the season.
Just
We are
a
in the
few
season.
weeks from that moment, and that's a wonderful moment to celebrate all the hard work that the Alliance does year round, and to be able to see it be put in action, which is really important. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate your time today, both
No,
of you,
thank you.
Susan
Well, thank you.
and Dominique.
It was fun.
And I hope that you have a successful event.
Thank you.
And that
You should come to it.
I definitely should come to it. In fact, I was already looking June 24th.
Wednesday.
Okay. Wednesday. That's pretty easy,
Yeah.
actually. And I'm just right nearby, so it's very,
good.
very. And I love that location. That spot.
beautiful.
It's a beautiful location. So I'll put that in my calendar. And
Okay.
again, wonderful to meet you both, ladies.
Great to meet you too.
Great to meet
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
Take care. Thank you for joining us. And today we have Mary Lou Palumbo. Thank you, Mary Lou, for being here today.
You're welcome. This is so much fun.
I know. We are excited because here we sit and we are almost into June.
Oh my gosh, that's
And
scary.
to us, and for today, we're here to talk about Bristol. And it's such a great year to talk about the Bristol 4th of July celebration with the USA 250 celebration as well. And
Yes.
so you just got off of a very busy weekend with emceeing the Miss Fourth pageant.
It was so much fun, and it's an annual tradition. Of course, there are so many traditions, but that is one of them, picking Miss Fourth and Little Miss Fourth. So that was fun.
It was such a good
Yes.
time, and just seeing that year after year and how well run it is, and just it never gets old.
Never gets old. Hats off to Patty and Nat Squartrito, who co-chair that event, and all the volunteers.
Right.
Again, just a piece of the pie. There's so many volunteers, but yes, they work their magic over the weekend.
Absolutely. And I feel like this is a perfect time to do this show because this is the official kickoff, I feel, that we have the pageant and then everything starts to happen. And so when you were young, I know you grew up in Bristol.
Yes.
And your family was in Bristol. So tell me a little bit about what that was like for you.
Well, if you grow up in Bristol or you're a Bristolian, the 4th of July can be bigger than Christmas. It's just so exciting because people come from all over the country. Like if you graduate from Bristol, you come home for Bristol's 4th of July, and family gathers, old friend gathers, and it's just deep-rooted in tradition and fun and everything patriotic.
Absolutely. And I just happened to, and this is a sidebar, I wasn't going to bring this up, but you just triggered a memory that you wrote a little book because your dad was involved in the parade.
I did. I wrote a book called Skippy the Dog and the Band. It was first published in 2007. True story. We always had this little dog, Skippy, who escaped and managed to get in the parade with my dad. And the band leader would get very upset. So I wrote this story in memory of my dad. And it's about how Skippy's dream is to be in the Bristol 4th of July parade.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I have to get my copy. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Thank you for giving me that plug.
Of course. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I feel the same way, having been a Bristolian for about 25 years now and raising 3 children there and going to the parade. I mean, we just had our tradition every year where we'd get up at the same time.
Yeah.
I was one of those that would put out my blankets nice and early and then walk back home, fortunate enough to be that close to the parade route. And then we have a whole celebration. We go see the parade and just seeing all the military come into town, seeing families get together again, and how special it made us feel. So just a really good time all the way around.
Oh yeah, and people have their routine. They get their spot. They have to have their spot.
Right.
They cook all this wonderful food because there's big cookouts afterwards.
Yes.
They meet people, but the parade actually culminates weeks of celebration. As you know, it kicks off with the Flag Day, officially kicks off with Flag Day.
That's
Of course, we have the Miss 4th of July pageant, we have the naming of the Chief Marshal, all of that. But the celebration kicks off with Flag Day, then continues with the concerts and so many wonderful events.
It is such a whirlwind, and with the Chief Marshal and their family and everybody involved and the over 100 volunteers that puts this all on, and it's just such a wonderful time. We really do enjoy it very much. And I like to go back a little bit to why is Bristol on everybody's radar nationally, right? Especially with USA 250. We're the oldest celebration in the nation. So I would love to explain exactly why, because sometimes I feel people ask me, and I don't know if it happens to you, Mary Lou, but is it the oldest parade? Is it the oldest fireworks?
Right.
Why is it the oldest? So speak to that a little bit.
It's not necessarily the oldest parade because there wasn't always a parade, but it is the oldest continuous celebration in the United States. It started in 1785, very small. People would gather in the town of Bristol. Then they started processing to the Congregational Church. And then the Reverend Henry White was the first to reside over the patriotic exercises, which are very, very patriotic and historical, because people gathered to honor that they were finally free, and the signing of the Declaration of Independence, all of that.
That's right.
They took that very serious. Bristolians took that very serious. So every year they would process to the Congregational Church or the Town Common or somewhere. They would sing, they would pray, they would have these patriotic speeches. That tradition has continued over the years. Not always a parade. There were times there was war or economic challenges where they couldn't have a parade.
And I have to commend the chairperson at the time, Michelle Martins, during COVID.
Right.
That became a real hot topic because was it safe, wasn't it safe? And she had to make a really hard decision and ended up moving forward with the parade to be able to sustain, and the patriotic services, which is really the anchor that makes this the oldest celebration in the nation.
Yes.
And she made sure that the patriotic services happened, which is about a 30-minute program before the parade, and then everybody were in their cars, and a parade happened. It was a rainy day, I remember. I remember standing by the side of the road and watching all the cars go by. Very few people were outside. So the meaning behind it. Any Bristolian, it means so much that it continued on. And so people like Michelle and all the volunteers that work really hard. And I think another thing to think about is all the different, the interfaith services too. I think that's one of those events that's anchored to the tradition of the celebration. And there's like 3 different content buckets, if we could look at it that way, that define the Bristol 4th of July celebration. It's what we just talked about with the history.
Right.
The patriotic services. So there's a certain checklist of items that Bristol and the committee make sure that we move forward. I can say we because I'm on that committee. I think you are.
Very proudly so.
Yes, absolutely, as well, Mary Lou. But I think that we have the patriotic services, so the checkbox of items that we have there. And then we have the pop culture events.
Of course.
So the concerts, for example.
Concerts, people love the concerts. Yeah, and all of these things were added, throughout the years to make it more vibrant, more exciting. It's all about community. It really is this big community celebration. But you hit it on the nose because we are celebrating American history, but we're also celebrating Bristol's history because Bristol took this seriously enough. They knew the importance of keeping this alive and to honor this wonderful memory. And it just continues, but it's the people.
It's the people.
The committee that make it happen.
That's right. And this year's chairperson, Anna Barbosa Mata, and her vice chair, John Daniels, who is, by being the vice chair of the committee, a lot of people don't know this, he's actually the chairman of the parade. And so he has his hands full. He's very busy this year. And over 100 volunteers. And why 100? It's because this committee is active year-round through fundraising. There's a lot of fundraising that's going on. And so there's a lot of money to be made to be able to put on the free concerts, for example, which are back at Independence Park this year, which is huge.
That is huge.
It really is. And so, and the safety behind that and all of the different parts to make this celebration go forward is very important. So the chairwoman, Anna Barbosa Mota, and the vice chair, John Daniels, are busy at work this year.
They are amazing. And that's another point. I mean, it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to put this celebration on.
Right.
And, with the times we're in, there are the safety concerns, the meetings that are involved.
That's right.
Everybody's involved, from the town administrator on down. And everybody's role is significant.
Yes.
Everybody's role.
Yes.
And it's just amazing how it all comes together.
It really is. It is such a wonderful group of individuals that have been doing this, sometimes multi-generations, that maybe their grandmother was on the committee. And it's just, it's very exciting to watch the tradition play out.
Yeah.
Even though I've been there for 25 years, I still feel like, I'm a newbie in some respects because of how much work is put into it.
You're seasoned now. You're seasoned. But you talk, the Partingtons are a great example of that. Mr. and Mrs. Partington, he was the general chair and chief marshal. Then his daughter Judy became the general chair. Yes. Granddaughter Heidi and is now involved. She was Miss 4th of July 2000.
Right, that's right.
And it's just, but that's just one example of so many the Squartritos, and I can go on and on.
That's right, that's right. And this year, we have so many fun, exciting things planned and drawing some parallels to the history, the part of the history story. I think having the parallel with the USA 250, and what are some of the parallels with the Bristol Celebration 241 and 250, and how we can talk about, so we can pass along to younger generations what patriotism is, some of the history that happened right there in their town.
And the other thing I really like about the parade as well, is that we honor our veterans, we honor our military, and it's so important for generations, younger generations to understand that the price of freedom, how strong it was. I mean, people, gave their lives for our freedom, and to honor our veterans this way, and the military, they line up in the order that they were actually, incorporated. And it's so beautiful to see, but it's a time where we do celebrate history, but we also honor the men and women who gave up their lives and still continue to dedicate their lives for our freedom today. So that's very important.
That's right, Mary Lou, and that's really the whole focus of this celebration is to give the honor to the military and to celebrate our freedoms.
Yes, and I love when we have these veterans. Some of them have been in 100 years old or older,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
And when they come by and just, to honor them and to just see them smile, and it's wonderful how we have, that opportunity.
I'm so glad you brought that up too, because I think that with the transition, we have been moving to YouTube versus network streaming of the parade. Instead of doing network television, we're now on YouTube. And what that's been able to do is go into the senior citizen homes in Bristol, Angela Cabral and Diane Medeiros, who run Franklin Court, and the multiple senior citizen homes that, most of the population there grew up in Bristol.
Right.
And they can't go to the parade. And I think that it's super important for them to be, I get emotional, to be honest with you, for them to be able to have access. So being able to have a YouTube stream that now they all have access to is super important. And not only in Bristol, but I know that there were some great comments from Texas,
California. I had my cousins in California.
From Florida.
Yes, all over. And all over the world, actually.
Right.
People can see it wherever.
That's right.
And it's such a great public service, and thank you. I know you've been very instrumental in that. But especially our elderly and, our shut-ins who have been very invested in this celebration all their lives. And when you can no longer go, but yet participate, by watching it on television, that is a wonderful thing.
And let me just tell you, I was in Franklin Court last week for something else, and they know how to have fun. These homes, I know we've visited a few of them, and they know how to celebrate. So it's nice to bring the parade and the celebration to them.
Yes. And it's a very proud moment for Bristol, and I consider myself a Bristolian. I grew up here. I was educated here. And although I moved away, I think I spend more time in Bristol than I do at home. But yes, and it's amazing. I have so many pictures and memories when you look through that through the years, and how the celebration has evolved, in so many different ways.
I know.
Yeah.
And we get to do it all again this year in about 6 weeks. We'll be there on YouTube, and we'll be doing the live stream of the parade. I know, we've got some work to do.
Yes.
So good to see you, Mary
Same
Lou.
here.
Thank you for
having
being
me.
here.
Thank you.
The Newport Navy Choristers is a local choral group associated with the military that raises money for local 501c3 organizations. If you would like to join us on our journey and learn more about us or become one of our sponsors for a concert to benefit your organization, please visit us at www.newportnavychoristers.org.
Lucy's Hearth is a family shelter in Middletown, Rhode Island. We provide a continuum of housing supports for families experiencing homelessness across Rhode Island. If you are looking for ways to help, please visit our website at lucyshearth.org.